The following is a Joel Michalec production.
Let me explain something to you. Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was. Understand?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. And it's Halloween weekend, so...
Ooh, I'm scared.
I'm Joel Michalec, being joined in studio by...
The lovely Sharen.
The lovely Sharen, yes.
Yes, that's me, the lovely Sharen.
And we're glad you're
So
here.
guess who I am?
You're the lovely Sharen.
I'm the lovely Sharen.
And that's the lovely Molly. Our alarm system is in place right
Yes.
behind you, protecting the doorway between us and the rest of
yes,
whatever is out there, really.
well, it's kind of pooky out there, I gotta tell you.
It is a little pooky. Anyway, folks, so welcome to the program. Here's how you get a hold of us if you want to, and you should want to. You better want to.
You better.
We're on the World Wide Web at www.jmtalk.net. And also on social media. Join us on TikTok and Facebook, right? At JM Talk.
What? Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. It's not fair that I don't have JM Talk for all of our social media. And that's sort of my fault, late start getting to some of them,
Yeah.
Somebody else out there on
Thankfully,
certain
he
social
admitted to
medias
it.
have JM Talk. And then you go there and they have no content at all. No texts, no content, no nothing. You're like, dude, give it up.
Right?
You
You don't need it as much as
Right?
I need it.
check out the webpage, subscribe. Put your finger on the button. Put your finger on the subscribe button.
On the button.
You click the subscribe button. Subscribe to the show.
Yeah.
We're all over the place. iHeart, Apple.
And you can click that little alarm that tells you when there is a post.
Oh, on Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that before, but
Yeah.
on Apple you
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can also email us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com, and we'll tell you if you're a new listener later on why you'd want to do that. We have some ideas for you on how you can interact with the program and
exactly
get in touch with us. So, So it's Halloween weekend, and we didn't make an elaborate Halloween everything themed show. We would have liked to, but we have a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And really, we came into this year with aspirations of Halloween because it's a Saturday.
I know.
It's a full moon.
We were so excited.
First time a full moon on a Halloween.
Saturday.
On a Halloween. Wait a minute. Is it first time for a full moon on Halloween or first time for a full moon on a Saturday Halloween since 1944? It's one of those two.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the Saturday and full moon.
I forget what it is, but
I think it's the Saturday and full moon.
it might be because I'm pretty sure we've had full moons on Halloween before. I would
Absolutely,
think,
yeah.
Since then. But anyway, so we were excited about it, but really it's just all...
What's that?
We've been beaten down from it, really.
With everything going on this year, it's
COVID and 2020. We're on our 5th or 6th year of 2020 right now.
I
It's like,
know.
is it ever going to get out of here?
right,
And
and we're not having much hope for 2021. You know why? I just figured out why we're having such a horrible year.
why?
It's double numbers, 2020.
Double? Where do you get that from?
It's 2020. Like back in 1010, they had
I'm
problems.
sorry, I wasn't quite around back in 1010.
Okay, well, I wasn't in this lifetime, but 2020. That's the reason.
So you think it's because it's double numbers?
Yes, I do.
Because the only other time I've ever heard that is, do you remember that movie with Robin Williams where he was a comedian and he ran for president as a joke and won the presidency.
Yes.
And then, I can't remember her name. Laura Linney played the lady who figured out that it was double letters and double numbers and double.
Yes.
And such like that. So, that's the only other time I've heard that. So I guess that could lend its charm. I don't know.
Yeah, for real, because it's 2020.
Right.
Any other, like before this, it was 2019 or 19 something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So this year it's
That's really interesting. Now, did you think of that or did you read that somewhere?
No, I really just thought of that.
Well, that's ingenious.
It is.
And that's why you're the lovely Sharen.
That's why I am the lovely Sharen.
Right. And see, then that
You're not the lovely Sharen.
No, that proves that I am uneducated. I am an uneducated racist Russian bot.
Apparently you are.
so anyway, lots going on too. It like Halloween. It's also so different.
Proud of myself.
You should be. That's really good.
Like for real.
Maybe we can get you. Maybe we can get you booked on Coast to Coast AM.
What?
That's that show that it's every night of the week, all the way through the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it just talks about sci-fi and weird things and theories and things like that. Yeah.
Huh.
Coast to Coast AM.
Wow.
Wow. You get a fist pump for that. Anyway.
Sorry, I have to get a drink of Wawa.
So, that's right. I got coffee. I forgot I got coffee. The fire's on.
It sounds like the house is burning.
I know,
down.
right? But anyway, so there's other challenges too. The CDC came out with guidelines on how trick-or-treating should work. And and a lot of it is there is a spike, and that's the thing. I meant to mention this last week. There are spikes in more than half the states.
Yes.
So that second wave is coming. And
everybody says so.
Yeah. So and so now more than ever, it's important to make sure if you slid a little bit on making sure you stay safe, that you go back to making sure you stay safe. What I cannot fathom is that COVID has picked, or the CDC is putting guidelines on the one holiday where you wear masks and eat candy. I mean, I've been doing that for 7 months. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why I don't give a damn about Halloween as much as I, for our spiritual reasons, yes. Yeah. But for the other reasons, I mean, we've already put our Halloween decorations out for 4 days and put them back away.
I know.
It's really affecting us as well as other people.
You know what? I can't believe how much it's affected me. Right. For real, because I'm like, Halloween, yeah, okay.
It's like a Christmas to you.
Yeah. And it's not, I'm like, okay, whatever, I got this stuff I got to do. So I'll just go do my stuff, and you decorations, you're in my way, so then you get put away.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I get it.
It's a yucky year.
It is.
Yucky year.
Yucky year. You did it again.
I did it again.
You did it again.
Oh, my God. I did it again. 2020 is a yucky year.
A yucky year.
Yep.
So the CDC put out guidelines, of course, and what it's done is, even where we live, we have no idea really what the rules are going to be.
I know.
This weekend for trick-or-treating.
And it's only, 2 days away?
Yeah, and really,
and I haven't bought any.
Well, I was going to say, you and I think we came to maybe an almost conclusion tonight that we don't want to do anything.
Right.
Lights out, horror movies.
I suspect that a lot of people are feeling that way. I know one person who has trick-or-treat age children who won't let their children out to trick-or-treat.
Right.
Because she doesn't want her children around somebody. First of all, if they have COVID, then they've touched all that candy. Right. And then the candy is going to be touched by your children.
And I get that, and I'm conscious to that. And that's why part of me is like, do I really even want to deal with this?
I know.
I mean, we know if we buy it and we open up the packaging, other than the outside of the package, if we go buy it Okay, and we could
Yeah.
put gloves on and get the package out of the way, wear
Yeah,
gloves,
right.
so we know that we can make the packaging of the candy relatively as safe as we feel like we are.
Yeah.
But then, you don't want other people worrying about, they're handing you the candy. Some people have come up with some great ideas with like some 3-inch conduit candy chutes or decorating them, putting lights on them.
We have that grabber. We can just grab a piece of candy and plop it into their
We
bag.
could. So the other alternative that you and I have is what we've talked to some neighbors, and some of the neighbors are doing the same thing. They want to at least, because the way it works here in our neighborhood is like the young kids come out with their parents, and then after about an hour or so, then you have all the teenagers, young
Right.
adults, and middle-aged drunks
Right.
coming around with pillowcases.
Right?
Yeah,
How old are you,
right?
little boy?
Right, people like with the munchies.
6.
So, so what we're probably going to do is maybe just do it for an hour and then shut the lights off and everything like that. I mean, we might just do
Or, oh my God, I had another great idea.
What?
We could have Molly. We give it to Molly, and then she walks them to the children.
Oh yeah, let's see how well that works. You give it to Molly and she'll take off with it. You remember the great hot dog caper of 2012?
I know.
Do you remember the Pizzelle? I forget what I called it. The Pizzelle. Look on our blog.
Okay.
The blunder with the Pizzelles.
Yes.
You remember the Pizzelle?
I
She
do.
grabbed that Pizzelle out of our granddaughter's hand.
As quick as could be.
Right, and became the fastest dog on the face of the world.
Yep. Yes, she did.
Yeah. We had to chase her
And
down.
had it eaten before we could get
we
to it.
retrieved it whole.
Oh, did we?
We retrieved it whole, which to this day surprises
See, I
me.
lied.
you
I
did.
lied to the people.
You did. You see that?
I didn't mean to lie to the masses.
So trunk or treats have been canceled. Halloween parties have been canceled. Parades have been canceled. The CDC
Yeah.
recommends that you only have Halloween parties with people in your house. You only carve pumpkins with people in your house.
Okay, but that's going to be a very shitty party for me and you.
Right? Yeah, because...
It's only me and you.
Yeah. You only do so much running around
Honey, you
naked.
want to dance? Nah.
And by the way...
What's your costume?
my birthday suit.
I'm a homicidal maniac. We look like everybody else. And that's a thing from, don't get all excited, people. It's a saying from, what is that? Show.
What did you say? What was it saying?
Oh my God, with the little Tuesday and Pugsley and
Addams Family.
Addams Family, right.
So in the next week or two, we'll have more information. But also look forward to this. The CDC is also starting to release guidelines telling us how we have to celebrate Thanksgiving. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. They are coming after all the holidays. All the holidays are being coming aftered.
Really?
You like that?
They're being coming after.
Yes, they are. They are.
All right.
And so we're going to have that problem with Christmas and Thanksgiving, and so we'll
The
keep
government
you.
is quickly, not slowly, quickly trying to rule every aspect of our lives.
Yes. So now Halloween is also known as something else less than spiritual.
Samhain,
So I wanted
right.
to direct to you about Samhain.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Sharen.
For Joel and I, it's called Samhain. It's a holiday that is like a major, kind of a major holiday.
It is a
for
major
us.
holiday. It's one of the 5 major holidays.
Right. But I mean, in the fact that, it's the start of a new year.
Right.
No, that's Yule, but harvest. It's, the ending result of the
This was a bad
harvest
idea?
season. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of late in the day for you to be
Kind of
remembering
put
this.
me on the spot.
Good.
I haven't had enough to drink. I only had one shot.
Wait, what?
Come on.
Hold on a second here.
So, but anyway, yeah, it's we used to go by the term pagans. Mm-hmm. Now we're Wiccans.
And what always amazed me, even before, my transformation, I was going to say Transylvania, before my Transylvania, is how other religions, all their holidays, which came after the pagans established their Sabbaths, and how they've just taken them and given them a different twist.
Well, you know why they did that?
Because they can't.
They did it. No,
because they don't have any original ideas.
No. Well, that's one reason, but the other reason is because way, way, way back in the, 1500s, 1600s, Christianity was a real big thing, and
Molly, hold on a second. Hold on. Thank you. Our security system is tangling up in all the wires. All right.
Anyway, so Christianity was starting to take off with a vengeance, and as a matter of fact, what was it? The Spanish Inquisition, right? But it was anyone who was not Catholic or Christian were burned at the stake. And that's how witches became known, for burning at the stake. But in order to get the pagans to switch their religion, the Christians would say, well, look, you have this holiday, which is Yule, and it celebrates, the birth of the god, and it's your new year, blah 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 blah, and I didn't say blah blah blah. Anyway, so they used that to twist and get pagans to join Christianity. Look, you have this, we have this. You have May 1st is May Day for us, and we dance around a pole with ribbons too, but for us it means this. For pagans, that was a ritual for fertility, and the pole was represented a phallic symbol. So those kinds of things they would bring up and try and recruit as many pagans as they could.
Right.
So, yeah.
A vicious circle.
I'm done talking. My voice.
So there's more than one twist to Halloween. I mean, now I cannot tell you how we came from that to giving out candy, but the costumes certainly come from the fact that pagans would dress up as their ancestors, because apparently on that night the veil is very thin between the two worlds.
Yep.
And so their ancestors who have since passed on may be able to see them, and it would help them recognize.
Absolutely.
Or they would be more familiar and not in such shock, because if somebody who passed away 100 years prior saw you,
in your garb, then
I mean, if they saw you wearing like a Rolling Stones t-shirt, the big tongue hanging out,
right? No, and it makes me happy that you remembered that, in one of our teachings that you and I had in order for you to,
right,
switch over.
Well, we are going to cut away for break.
Okay.
We have a new Wombat of the Week coming up in the next segment. Also, something really interesting that we must talk to you about. Believe it or not, I did not really even get anything gross from you when we discussed this. This is one of the few times I discussed with the lovely Sharen what will be on the show. I did not even get or anything like that from her, which is really...
Probably because I was holding it in.
No, I doubt that. So that's coming up. So more coming up. Plus later on... I was
talking to my peeps out there.
A new Honor Thy Hero coming up later on the show. So don't go anywhere, because we're coming right back after this brief word.
This is New York's super oldie station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the program, folks. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen, and we're back. Thanks for hanging out. It is Halloween weekend.
Yes, it is.
So, like I said, we didn't do anything extravagant, but we're putting some things in. we have the book of lists. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
And we kind of have it here in the studio so we can refer to. Mm-hmm. And there is a section on strange stories. And I thought I would relay one. They're nothing long. They're a short story.
Okay.
And it's called Helpful Voices. While on holiday, a woman referred to in the British Medical Journal of December 1997 as AB heard two voices in her head identifying themselves as staff from the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital in London and telling her to return home immediately. Once she was back in London, the voices gave her an address that turned out to be a hospital's brain scan department.
What?
They told her to ask for a scan as she had a brain tumor and her brain stem was inflamed. Though she had no symptoms, medical staff reluctantly agreed to do the scan, and she did indeed have a tumor. After an operation in May 1984, AB heard the voices again saying, "We are pleased to have helped you," they said. "Goodbye." AB made a full recovery and never heard the voices again.
Wow.
So I thought that'd be a neat short story to share on the program.
That's actually pretty cool.
What do you think of that, though? Because like we do a lot of paranormal stuff, and I've never heard of something like that. Guided voices, I guess you would call it. We've dealt with a lot of things in the paranormal.
Angels.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, but have you ever heard of them talking to people before?
Well, yeah.
Because this story also makes you think about people that say that they hear voices or people are talking to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they go in the loony bin.
Maybe they're not so loony is what I'm saying.
I know, yeah.
So maybe the Joker is not a lunatic. You want to know how I got these scars? Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
I thought it was a really good, good short story to,
I like that.
Because it's Halloween weekend. We have nothing officially planned, but we can have a little bit of fun. Is the whole point? Can you do something with that, please?
Really?
I know where to put it over here. I'm crowded in this whole big office.
You could bend over.
Whatever. Anyway, so moving on to our next piece. So this can't be ignored. I came across this, and I came across it because I found out that the story is from this year, but way earlier this year. And so what I really learned about it when I was going into the story is that the local affiliate news where I caught it from this week is just now reporting on it. So it's a little dated. So some people may say, "Wait a minute, I know about this," but this story can't be ignored. Listen to this, and then we'll talk about it.
It's like nothing you've ever had before, Phil.
Look at all that flavor.
I've been threatening to make hot dog soup for a very long time.
Jason, that dude's a savant. I mean, he really is. He's really good at developing and curating and crafting a dish that will make people go, I didn't think that would work, but I can't wait to try it.
When I came up to give the soup of the day, they're like, "What's the soup of the day?" It's hot dog soup. Everyone kind of looked at me like I was crazy, and I let them try some, and they were like, "Well, okay, I guess we can get behind this." Clearly doesn't sound like the most appetizing. Most people just think about hot dog water, I guess. I thought I could come up with an actual soup that tasted like the Chicago-style hot dog that was good and had all the same flavors.
This is very unique.
The natural progression after that was, what's the next iconic Chicago sandwich to recreate into a soup, and that was Italian beef.
Everybody knows Chicago for the Italian beef. Everybody knows Chicago for the Chicago-style hot dog. I think the only thing he hasn't done yet is a pizza soup. Stop. We're going to put that on the list now. Ultimately, it's about bringing that culturally relevant Chicago dish to the table in a new and exciting way.
My name's Jason Gilmore. I'm the head chef at Cobra Lounge and All Rise Brewing Company.
We opened in 2006. We've basically been primarily a music venue for the last 12 to 13 years. All Rise Brewing Company opened in 2015. The music venue on one side, the brewery on the other with a shared kitchen with Chef Jason's creations.
We're a brew pub at the heart of it when it comes down to the food. I try and make food that's good for drinking beer with, and I like to get Chicago with it, basically. I try and throw a little Chicago flair on everything that I do. Chicago-style hot dog is a beef hot dog, yellow mustard, sweet pickle relish, pickled spear, fresh tomato, and celery salt on it. All of those elements go into the soup. Everything but the bun. It's even got a little potato in there because every good hot dog comes with a side of fries, right? It's got all the aspects of a great Chicago-style hot dog, but it's also got the aspects of being a great warming soup that you want to continue to eat and you want to come back and have because it's something you know already, but it's a new way to enjoy it.
He can take any dish and make it his own. He's able to put a bit of Chicago into everything that he does, and I think he's accomplished that on every level so far. So we're going to keep rolling the dice and taking some risks and seeing what we come up with. The second that fall weather hits, he starts to craft a dish that reminds you of summer to take yourself out of it for a second. That's his brilliance in the kitchen.
Starts getting a little bit colder, everyone starts thinking about soup. It's just a natural progression from hot dog to soup.
Wow, is all I can say.
Right?
And although I thought, when I first saw it, I thought hot dog water. I did.
Ew.
I did stop and think about it. And no, hot dog water, you boil hot dogs in water, that's hot dog water. But if you're making a nice thick, like maybe like a chicken broth based soup base, and the hot dogs are in it, tell me what's different than having sausage in a soup base with other vegetables. Right.
The difference would be
the hot dog. You're going to say the hot dogs.
It's a hot dog.
And that's not, I don't want you to focus on that. That's the thing. So we're going to post a picture of the Crocker soup. You tell me that doesn't look appetizing to you? Because it looks appetizing to me. And look at the pickle. Look at the dill pickle resting in there. So,
snug in a bug.
So Jason Gilmore from All Rise Brewing in the near west side of Chicago, he came up with this recipe for the soup, as you heard. And this soup was so popular at the brewery, lovely Sharen, that it sold out.
Oh. Well, people in Chicago really don't have good taste.
No, I'm sorry, but contrary to that, it just so happens that just this week, I put a meme up on a show page.
Okay.
I made a meme. I didn't put it up. I made the meme about Chicago food being the best.
Okay.
And in fact, you got to go on. You have to visit the Facebook page.
What?
It's as simple as that.
I will not have it.
So then the next night after I make this meme and post it, this comes across the desk. So they do have good food, and we know it because we were there.
I'm kidding.
The Italian
Chicago
beef
has good food.
The Chicago Polish, the Chicago dog.
Okay, yeah.
Did you even try the hot dog? I don't remember.
No.
Why?
I don't, because I was never offered it. That's how I get away with everything.
Whatever.
I was never offered it.
So, and he made this because his thought process was every fall he tries to get creative, especially when it comes time for soups.
Right.
And so in this time with this soup, he thought to himself, could he make something that would remind people of summer, but they have the warmth of the cold weather? And when we say cold, we were talking this week about what we're getting for weather after the 57,000 days of rain. It's going to start getting cold.
Oh, and the 58,000 day.
So he was inspired just by going, you know what? Hot dogs. So, it's a nice broth. I'm trying to find the recipe. I don't want something that, look, when I pull it out of the pot and put it in the bowl, that's what I want. See, look, the celery salt all over the top. We got the tomatoes, the pickles, potatoes.
I'm looking. Okay.
And the hot dogs.
I really am looking.
Yeah.
And it still looks gross to me.
No, it does not.
How can you say that?
We're going to have to put this.
How can you tell me it does not look gross?
How can you tell me it does?
Okay. So you have your likes and I have my dislikes, as it turns out.
We'll have to put the picture to a vote on Facebook.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to find his recipe. I want his recipe, and I want to try it, even if it's a small batch.
Okay.
Because I know you won't have any. But then you'll want to taste my hot dog, and then you'll want it.
No, I won't. No, I won't. Sorry.
So now he also went on to make a soup based on Italian beef. So now you got a very robust beef broth base. You've got the Italian beef in there. You got the what do you call those? What do you call those vegetables? What do you call those vegetables that are like pickled that they sell? They start with a G, I think.
Yeah, they do. GA or the gherkins.
Not gherkins.
No. Gardenia. No. That's flour.
Man, but anyway, they're like pickled. They're delicious.
Yeah.
So you got that in there. You got the beef, and then he puts 2 pieces of some sort of bread on top, crusty toasted bread and the cheese, and then it goes in the oven. So that's almost like a French onion soup, but it's got the beef. Come on, man. In the words of Joe Biden, come on, man.
Definitely no.
Really, you wouldn't even give the Italian beef a little bit of a whirl. What is it with you and soups? Like, if it's not pasta fazool and you didn't make it, you're not interested.
My mom turned me off of soups.
How can you be turned off from soups? Now we have to talk about this.
Okay. As a kid, potato soup.
Yeah, I know that is one of your pet peeves is anything potato soup.
Yeah. Potato soup, growing up, was potatoes boiled in water, salt and pepper, and milk.
Okay. Cream of potato soup.
What?
Cream of...
It was not creamy. It was like milk liquid, like potatoes.
Thank God milk is liquid. Oh, so potatoes. What? Like everything was mashed up and into a liquid?
I would have preferred that. It was potatoes diced.
Okay.
In water.
Cooked in water.
With salt and pepper.
Right.
And then milk added. It was, I guess, her attempt at a creamy soup, but it was nasty. Nasty. Okay. Since then, I guess I got it in my head that all soups are nasty.
But you like your pasta fagioli.
Yes, I do like.
You like my tortilla chicken.
Yes, I did tell you that.
Wait a minute, man! Come on, man!
Come on, man! No, I'm not a soup person. And you can thank my mother for that.
I need to secure the it's down there. No, great. It's at the beach. I need the small crock pot then because I can't have this. I got to be able to make soups, man.
I'll make soups.
Come on,
I'll
man.
try a little bit.
So you'll try a little bit of the hot dog soup?
No. No, you can't make me.
All right.
I would rather eat liver and onions.
All right. Okay. All right.
Actually, I would rather eat liver and onions.
All right. Okay, so anyway, back to this. So, I'm interested. I want more information. I'd like to get the recipe, because I'm afraid that if you don't have his...
you contact him, telling him who you are, a radio show...
Do you think that would work?
I think it would.
Do you think anyone cares who I am?
I care who you are.
I know you do.
Because I love you, man. I love you, man.
I love you more. So moving on. So
contact him.
Well, maybe I will.
What's the harm? I mean, what's the harm? What's he going to say?
I'll contact the brewery because at least the brewery. Him, he works for the brewery.
Okay, so say I want to get in contact with the chef that works in the brewery, and I want to talk to him. Period. End of story.
Blunt
to the point.
Okay. So meanwhile, message us if you've been to Chicago and you've had it, and we have a contact in Chicago. So I bet you our daughter would try that for me to tell me how it is. I bet you.
Yeah, I think that's a a solid bet there.
Okay.
Because a lot of them, I think you wouldn't get it to try.
So that's that. We need to get to a Wombat of the Week before you say goodbye.
Okay.
So I want to tell people how they can participate in Wombat of the Week. It's very, very easy. First of all, the Wombat of the Week, if you're a first-time listener, is our way of crowning stupid people doing stupid things and winding up in the news.
And winding up in the news.
So how do you get involved?
How do you get involved? What?
So what you can do is you can email the show. You can email us. The link to a news story has to be a bona fide news story. It can't be from Babylonia. It can't be from The Onion. It's got to be a bona fide news story of stupid people doing stupid things, and send it to us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. So that's where you can send it. You can also send us a PM over Facebook at JM Talk. We'll get it that way too. And believe me, there's plenty out there. In fact, we didn't even have one picked out yet for this show. And I said, that's all right. It'll take me 20 seconds to find one.
I know, right? He turned on his computer and it was there. It was. I know, right?
So we want to talk about Hugh Sieber, 50 years old, from Tennessee. Tennessee sheriff said they had an easy job tracking him down because they found his missing finger, cell phone, and tools at the property of a victim that he robbed. His severed finger, along with his cell phone and tools. But I guess
that's almost like the break-in that I had when I worked at self-storage.
What they left?
They left an insurance card from their truck.
So he was.
Oh my Lord!
He was arrested in Clinton, Tennessee. Okay, the Anderson County Sheriff's Office received a complaint about a stolen log splitter. So the plot thickens, lovely Sharen.
Wow! No wonder he lost his fingers.
The property owner told deputies that various tools and other things were lying scattered along the driveway. Plus, in a gruesome discovery, they found the suspect's severed finger. So along with his digit, they found his cell phone, they found some of his tools, and this ended up leading them straight to 50-year-old Hugh Sieber. I mean, the evidence they collected, you have to understand, it really fingered the guy.
It did.
Can you see that? Holding the finger, you're the man, you're the guy.
Prove it. Prove it.
The sheriff's office...
Prove it. Prove it to me that this is my finger.
The sheriff's office said the alleged thief was dropped off at the Methodist Medical Center emergency room around 4 a.m. with a finger missing. And the sheriff added that he was very proud. Oh, Sheriff Russell. The sheriff said that he was proud of his sheriff's deputies' sleuthing abilities. But I guess it's not hard if you find someone had a log splitter missing. And you found a severed finger.
Oh my God!
At the scene of the crime.
They have to be dumb as a bag of bricks.
I mean, they carry, don't they? Don't they carry? Like, let me get my AirPods out here. Don't they carry fingerprint scanners that are like this big in their pocket? So they can take the finger and go, huh? Oh look, Hugh Sieber. Yeah, I know him.
Wow.
Owes me $10. So.
Wow.
I just can't seem to put my finger on what that's called.
You're so stupid.
So yeah. So he didn't get far. They found out who he was from their super sleuthing abilities of being able to get a fingerprint off of a finger. You know, you don't even have to. You don't even have to dust the equipment, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah, so because of this, 50-year-old Hugh Sieber from Tennessee, you are one hell of a Wombat of the Week, and you can wear that crown, which gives you bragging rights for the week, and it's all yours, buddy. All right, so,
stupid.
I got nothing.
That's the only word I can think of.
Well, if he goes to jail, he doesn't have to worry about how he's going to work a mouse on a computer anymore. So
I know, I know, right?
Anyway, all right. So that's our Wombat of the Week. Make sure you get your stories in because you can participate and get them into us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. I what?
You gotched it.
I gotched it.
You gotched it.
So anyway, I'm going to be coming back, but it's time for you to say goodbye, Sharon.
Goodbye, Sharon.
As she leaves, I will take a quick break, and I'll be back. I have a new Honor Thy Hero for this week, plus more coming up. If time permits, we'll get the one last thing, and that's all on Halloween weekend here on the Joel Michalec Show.
I'm scared.
Featuring the lovely Sharen. Be back right after this.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back, folks, to the program. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming back after the break. The lovely Sharen has moved on and is getting ready for the trick-or-treating. This is the Halloween weekend program, and I'm really glad you guys hung out. We got a couple things to cover during this segment. If time permits, we're going to get to one last thing. I'm going to honor a new hero here shortly for you, and so that's coming up, and we'll tell you how you can get involved, which is very similar to how you get involved with the Wombat of the Week segment. So, but first, let me open this bottle of water without it spilling. You ever see the bottles of spring water? They're so full that when you go to open it, you end up squirting it all over. I didn't do that this time. I did very well this time. And sorry about those sound effects. But anyway, the first thing I want to talk to you about is about a 13-year-old from Iowa named Luke Thill. I want to talk about this kid for a little bit because Luke Thill amazingly built himself using two different forms of grammar, a tiny house. Yes, that's right. So he wanted to find out a way where he wanted to find a way to have a place of his own, but he's like 13, and I think at the time he was 11 or 12 when he started the project, okay? So he took on this project, and he started doing it. So, you know, when you think about it, most people don't think about having a tiny house, but he wanted something that was separate from his parents' place. And of course, his parents only let him sleep in a couple nights a week out there, so he does not live in it. It's on their property, and he intends to either move it when he's old enough or actually sell it because he's got bigger things on the horizon. But to get the money he needed for this project, Luke did whatever he had to do. He did any odd job that he could find. He was mowing lawns, he was cleaning garages. And it wasn't important to him what he was doing. It was only a means to the end of this project coming together. And when his neighbors heard about the idea, he was offered all sorts of chores around the neighborhood. When he was cleaning out garages, he was allowed to keep things that were going in the trash. He did a lot of recycling with this project, which is one of the other things that when I read the story, I was really proud of him for that. You know, think about that. Think about an 11, 12, 13-year-old recycling. Building himself a tiny house. Another means to provide supplies was, as I said, using recycled and reclaimed pieces. Which, if you know anything about tiny houses, that's the philosophy of it, right? The tiny house is to live light, use recycled, things like that, and all in the goal of helping the environment, so to speak. So while he was cleaning garages, as I said, he was allowed to keep things that he found that were going to otherwise go into the trash. Luke's project came full circle when he started posting updates on the same website that gave him his initial idea. And as everyone found out about his tiny house, he started getting lots of questions. He got a lot of calls. He started a YouTube channel, which, by the way, we'll put his YouTube channel up on the Facebook this week, so look for that if you want to see Mr. Thill talk about his project and see some videos of his amazing tiny house, because this is theater of the mind. I can only describe what he did. It's hard for me to put in words what it looks like. So we will post that. He's been interviewed by the news. He's been interviewed and talked to and helped out by a lot of do-it-yourself type places. So when he had raised enough money to buy himself the right materials, he began building this home. He wanted a starter. Through his neighborhood chores and online fundraising, he saved up $1,500 to do this house. So he chronicles in his channel, he chronicles a lot of the things that went wrong and how he overcame some of these things, and how it affects him now that the tiny house is finished. He bartered some services when he needed electrical done. He bartered off them services by, working off barter, right? That's the old fashioned way of doing things. And he did it. He did it. So, the house is 89 square feet and full of surprises. Because he doesn't have indoor plumbing, he keeps bottled water in the kitchen that's equipped with a small fridge, an electric stove, and even outlets to plug things in. The kitchen walls are tiled with linoleum that is usually used for the floor, and Luke created a place for storing things under the countertop. He had a disaster trying to do a stained glass counter, and so now what he did was he used that mold and turned it into a storage area for silverware. Again, storage everywhere. How to create benefit to a tiny house, right? That's the whole idea, right? And so he did these things. So, just moving along through the story, it's really amazing. And I only highlighted bullet points of the story. It's a very well done and long article about it. So, as I said earlier, he plans to start house number 2 when he turns about 15. And he wants to collaborate with fans and the businesses and companies that help him with his planning and funding. And he also has plans to sell house number 1. So in case you're in the market, although I got to tell you, it's weird because when I saw this story about Luke, and then 2 days later, just perusing the marketplace on Facebook for something, I noticed that a tiny house was going for like $60,000. And I was like, what? Do they go for that much? I don't know, but we'll see what he puts his in the market for. So, yeah. So that's 13-year-old Luke Thill. We will hook up his Facebook and his YouTube channel so you can, or at least his YouTube channel. So that way you can check out what he's doing with this project. And he talks about some future plans. And his older brother, I think, is also restoring or building his own teardrop camper RV. So it seems to be an interesting family going on here with things to do. And, but isn't it refreshing to see a teenager doing something like that rather than, what we see a lot of teenagers doing right here in our own neighborhood here? Scares the hell out of us, These teen gangs and everything. I mean, what is going on there, right? So we'll have that all posted up there on the website. Okay, Halloween weekend, and we are moving along. In fact, we're actually broadcasting right now on Halloween night is when I'm doing the recording. And so that's what a lovely Sharen is. She's out getting ready for the trick-or-treaters. And, we talked a little bit earlier in the podcast, like, what are you doing? What are we doing? What do you do? So we're just going to, we are going to hand out candy for a little bit, for a little while. We're going to do that. And go from there. I mean, what else can you do, right? Because for the kids. I mean, we're not going to do the whole thing. We didn't buy enough candy to sustain the 2 or 3 hours or whatever. But, the younger kids that come around early on, we'll get them taken care of because it's important for them that there's still some sort of a semblance of this holiday that, like everything else this year, COVID has stolen. So anyway, Honor Thy Heroes, very popular segment here on the program. Let me tell you how you can get involved in it and what it is. We honor everyday people going out of their way to do extraordinary things here each week on the program. And we need stories from you to make this work. I mean, we go out, of course, on our own and we find stories, but the generation of stories coming from the audience certainly helps. And our favorites, by the way, are the hometown ones, out of the small papers and whatnot. So you can send us a link. You can send us a link of a everyday person doing extraordinary things for someone else. Send it to us at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com or on Facebook at JM Talk. Send it to us in a private message there. And that's how you can contribute to the Honor Thy Heroes segment. And today we're going to this week we're shooting over to Hamilton, Ohio, as a bus driver in Butler County is hailed as a hero after finding a missing 11-year-old girl. So we're talking about Lakeisha English, who spotted the 11-year-old along Route 4 in Fairfield earlier this past week. And the bus driver's, her motherly instincts, saves the day. The police have been searching for the girl after she vanished from her home early on last Monday. So, Lakeisha has only been driving for the Butler County Regional Transit Authority for about 6 weeks and has already made a very good impression, and now this. So, some people would even go as far at the authority as saying that she is already an employee deserving of a priority parking spot. So earlier in the week, she spotted Pandora Phipps, age 11, all alone at the Fairfield Crossing Shopping Center. She says she's seen this itty-bitty tiny girl sitting over in the corner, and as soon as I pulled up, I gravitated towards her. I had a feeling in my soul that something wasn't right. Pandora had been missing and was 4 miles from her Hamilton home. Lakeisha asked how she got there, and she said that she had walked. English, as a mother, said her instincts told her to take Pandora and take her home. And so she called dispatchers, and then they called the Hamilton police. So she ended up taking the child home. She says she's no hero, but this is one of those stories where, but you are, and it's humbling for her to not want that. And a lot of people don't want that. It's very true that a lot of people would just say, this is what a human being would do. And that's fantastic. That's fabulous that she did this. And that she doesn't want to be a hero, that's noble. But we're in this period of time where we need that. So she may be noble enough to not want it, but she's got to take it because people need it. People need for her and people like her to be those heroes right now, where we have such horribleness around us, right? So that's okay that she's noble, but she's a decent human being, right? At the core of it. Because an 11-year-old child, 4 miles from home, walking the streets. Are you watching the news these days? Anything could have happened to this child. Children are missing every minute in this country. Are disappearing, are being taken. What is going on? But Lakeisha English from Butler County is our Honor Thy Heroes recipient this week on the Joel Michalec Show, featuring the lovely Sharen. And that's just the way it is. We thank you for your service to the community. And I would say she deserves to get that spot. And then some. So good for her. She gets those bragging rights. And that's Honor Thy Heroes. And send us your stories. We'd love to have them. And that gives us enough time for one last thing. So, we were out earlier today because I was looking for a really good recipe. The weather has turned cold. You can probably hear it in my voice. Because as soon as the cold weather hits, my sinuses and my throat go straight to hell. So we're out there because I wanted a nice cold weather Halloween slow cooker meal. And I found a recipe for homemade crock pot chicken pot pie. You know, where it's everything but the crust and you serve it with a side of biscuits. So I needed to procure the supplies to make this meal. And one of the things it calls for is cream of celery soup. Cream of celery soup, cream of chicken soup, chicken broth. And I gotta tell you, we went to 5 different places. 5. Before we found cream of celery soup. Not cream of chicken, not cream of mushroom, cream of celery. And I'm not talking about a lot of soups where the shelves were bare of soups in general. No. I'm telling you, soups were fine. Empty spaces where cream of celery is supposed to be. And I just found that odd. And I find it odd that somehow there's a run on cream of celery soup. I use it so little that you might as well say that we don't use it. So where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where is this soup? Where is it? I don't get it. What's I know there's a second wave of COVID-19 sort of happening, but cream of celery, where's the cream of celery soup? I got one and I'm happy, and my pot pie is in a crock pot. My point is, cream of celery. Every other soup is out there. I've never sat down and had a bowl of cream of celery soup. I've only known it to be something you use when cooking other things, like as an ingredient. So I find this odd. And I just wanted to point out that I was very baffled and lost a lot of time of my day trying to find this one ingredient. And it was aggravating. It was very aggravating. I was aggravated, and still am to a certain point, because again, I lost valuable time today looking for an ingredient. It's silly, right? It's silly, but yeah. So I just wanted to point out. I don't know if this has happened in other parts of the country. I didn't know if maybe cream of celery was maybe taking a back seat. Maybe going away. Maybe the cancel culture wants it gone. I don't know. But anyway, that's one last thing. Just, something random that I get to discuss with you one-on-one here in the last part of the show. That does bring us near the end of the show. It is Halloween weekend. So I hope you're having a safe Halloween. Remember, the clocks go back an hour on Halloween night into Sunday, Saturday into Sunday. So you gain an hour of sleep. Make the best of it. Okay? You gain an hour, this weekend. So remember that. So you're not late on Monday when you go back to work. So, yes. Otherwise, have a safe and enjoyable Halloween weekend. Be kind to everybody. Thank you on behalf of myself and the lovely Sharen for listening to the podcast. Be sure to subscribe at www.jmtalk.net. We're also on TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. And please share us with your friends. Until the next time, next week, folks, thanks for listening. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.